Okay. Have you ever forget to breathe in your life? Really? Start your day with mine. You wouldn't have been here. If you forget to breathe in your life, you wouldn't be alive.
Something holding your back.
Something. So, but a lot of time, but we do forget to breathe. Basically, not forget to breathe. We just engage our breath into so many different things that basically kind of distracting ourselves. You really don't need to remember your breath, but just leave it alone. Don't hang in so many things. So we start with that. Just to you will not try to change, modify anything with it. Right? Okay, so just bring your hands on your knees and just close your eyes. Just open your hands like this. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes flat. And just take a nice breath in. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And we are not trying to do anything with our breath. And just be aware of the breath, like as it comes in your body, feel it moving through your nose, through your trachea. When it fills into your lungs, feel it little tightness in your lungs, little pressure in your lungs, little stiffness, little power in your body. Try to feel a strength in your whole body when you inhale. And when you exhale, just feel a little more peace, emptiness, quietness in your head, and let it go completely out. And we are still not trying to change or modify. Just be aware of the breath. Simply bringing our attention to this present moment, rather than moving back to your past or just moving forward in your future. And as soon as you just disengage your breath with so many other things, you start feeling that you start feeling a little better. And we need to do that very often. So literally you don't to breathe better, you don't need to really breathe, inhale or exhale or anything. Those are more for when you want to go deep and you want to do more kind of healing or health purpose. Just allowing your breath to flow free through your body. That's where it starts. Just feel it more. And even you're not trying to change anything, but after a couple of breaths, you start feeling that you are feeling a little better. Your breath is a little better. It might be moving a little more deep without any effort. Because if you have to make effort to breathe, that's too much effort. It should be nice, deep, without any effort, without reminding yourself. Once you start feeling that it's more better, deep, keep it up. And now maybe you want to make it more deeper. When you take deep next breath in, try to pull it all the way into your tailbone, pelvic floor. Feel that your breath is moving down. Inhale, your crown of your head is moving up, and when you exhale, try to keep that length in your spine, but drop your shoulders down, your neck nice and long. So try to grow tall when you inhale. Keep the length in your spine. When you exhale, drop your rib cage, your shoulders, your chest, and relax your face. Even you're angry on me, just relax. Take a deep. And just try to give attention to your exhale a little more. Whenever we talk about breathe, we forget about exhale. So make sure when you exhale, you release all the breath out. You don't want to inhale that same air again that you are supposed to exhale. Full with the carbon dioxide, toxins. So you make sure you exhale, release. Maybe in the end you want to press your navel to spine, pull your belly in gently, and make sure you release all the breath out before you take your neck inhale. So find the fullness in your breath now. It will get slow, but deep and complete. Deep inhale and complete exhale. Deep inhale and complete exhale. Finding the strength, more power. And relax on your exhale. And when you ever attend your class, keep in mind that whenever you need strength, trust on your inhale, take deep. And whenever you want to feel flexible, soft, bring your exhale, let it go down. And let's just fly a few birds with your hands, just engaging our body opening a little bit more. So inhale, swing your arms over your head up. Keep that nice breath moving and exhale down. So the only difference is like right now you're not using, literally you're not using your biceps, you're using your breath to sit up. So feel that your arms are going up with your breath. You might have a more strongest biceps in the world, but you don't need that now. So feel like those air balloons or those air commercials, they fly their arms, then they pump the air in. And exhale. A few more. You might engage your head into the same movement. In and up, look up. Exhale into your chest. And we don't have to sing. We don't have to sing each with each other, not with me. Go for next 5 to 7 breaths. Inhale, swing, fill up, and make sure you divide your inhale and exhale. When you inhale, make sure you hold, give a small pause, and then you exhale. So you pull, and when you exhale, you make sure you release all the air out, and then you start your next inhale. Sounds really simple movement, but more energy you can burn with the breath than doing anything else. Exhale. Go 3 more, really big. Like you can hold all, you can suck up all the air from the environment and exhale, blow it out. You feel more clean in your nose, 2 more. Nice. Exhale. Keep on your breath with the movement, that's what you need in your practice. Inhale up. Exhale down, bring your hands on your knees and grab your knees now this time. Grab your knees really tight. And now try to make your rest of your body really strong. Now you start to get some strength. And we'll try to start with this step called bellows breath. If you are familiar with those old things that they used to use, those leather balloon kind of things, and they pump the air into the fire to burn the fire. Just imagine that like your lungs, right? They're connected with the trachea, and literally that's what we do. When we fill up the air, we send that. It's not, lungs are not like rubber balloons. If you just recall that high school biology, that you fill up your lungs, and then your breath mixes up with the blood, and then goes to your heart, and it goes to your each and every cell in your body. And that's where really we breathe, not in our lungs. Right? That's where that reaction called respiration happens, where it converts into the oxygen, converts into the carbon dioxide, and generate some energy, and that's the energy we use. There's nothing really happens in our lungs. Lungs are just to sending that air to each and every cell in the body. So when we say like send your breath into your hips and your back, it sounds like stupid. There's no lungs in your hips, but you literally can send your breath into that. Literally means that we are trying to intentionally send a little more air into those cells to create a little more energy, more heat. Okay? So that's why it's called capacity, because we will just try to send a little more energy, more air to whole body, and for that we have to fill up. Like we have very little control how to send air into the fingertips. The only things we can control is lungs. So we come back to lungs. So we hold our knees really nice, and we try to keep your belly stable, and we'll move your chest and take a deep breath. So we will focus on both inhale and exhale really strong, right? And you'll see how much heat you burn in your whole body. Just like we'll try to go for 2 or 3 minutes. But if you feel like too much heat, you can take a break. So just get hold on your knees, take a deep breath in, and blow it out through your nose. And you can make it really strong if you want. Fill up in your lungs. Try to keep your spine straight. Try to keep it very nice. You might feel a little burning in your nose, but that's fine. It's just squeezing in and out. Blow it out. Yes. It will take a while. If you want to get rid of it, it will still have. You can go slow, it's fine. Get in it. So you're just trying to fill up your lungs. That's all. You're just trying to find the real capacity in your lungs. You might have forgotten about it. Keep going. We haven't done for 1 minute yet. Just big breath in your lungs. Just remember, you want to keep it really nice and big. Give a small pause and blow it out. Let's take 10 more together. Next breath in, turn your heads up and take a deep breath in, press your shoulders back. Take a deep breath in, chest out. Hold, pause, and sigh out. Let's take 2 more. Deep breath in. Tight fist, tight. Hold, and let it go. 1 more. Deep breath in. Tight fist, hold, and let it go. Send your chin to your chest. And relax your neck, back of your neck. And literally feel dropping some weight from your head. You can immediately feel there's some opening in your nose. And we live in Louisiana. And we have tons of pollens. And we all fight with allergies. So this will be a great, great practice if you want to protect yourself with anything that doesn't feel right in your nose or in your head, like allergies, sinusitis, or just common cold. And sometimes you just feel a little heavy in your head. So simply open your nostril and let it go. And bring your hands to your heart center. And rub your hands really hard. Rub your hands really hard. Because your face feels like a little cold and your hands feel like a little cold. The rest of your body should feel a little warmer. But you can burn some heat in your hands and faster keep your face. Give yourself nice gentle massage to your face. And take a deep breath in. And again sigh it out. So this is just a little practice that I do. That's all I have time. So that's my personal practice. I take 1 or 2 breathing practices. Depending on how I'm feeling and what I need those days. Honestly, I don't have an hour or 2 to spend every day to practice. But depending on sometimes you wake up in the morning, right? But you don't really feel like going to work, or you're just annoyed on everybody else and everything going on in the world. And it makes worse if you look at your phone. So maybe first thing you need to do is just put that aside. And so there's the reason. Because you feel like low in your vital energy. You might not feel it, but there's a physical energy that you can feel, like if you're weakness in your hands and your leg, you can feel that. But sometimes this is all vital energy and emotional energy. You feel low in that, right? And that's basically that we talk about that breath that comes to your cells and generate that energy. And you're pretty much going low in that energy. So you're not producing that energy. You might be digesting your food, but maybe that's just accumulating your body or just going west. You're just blowing out, but you're not really generating enough energy through your whole body. And that's where we feel like. And that maybe leads to lots of physical problems later. Basically, like depression, that's where they start. You start feeling low, then you don't want to talk to anybody, want to close yourself, and then maybe you develop like emotional eating, or you get irritated. So that's the root of those so many problems down the line. And that's what you can do just to boost that energy. So, and best time to do it is early morning, when you're not, imagine if you can do, you would you like to do this right after the lunch. You just don't feel like it. So early time, and so first thing you boost that energy. Second physical importance is basically you cleanse your respiratory system. So you breathe better. Not only those 2 minutes or 5 minutes you took, you breathe better the rest of your day. So that's the immediate effects. And if you do it long term, there's a tons of other effects, because the breath is the best cleansing. You can do when I feel allergies or cold, I usually do the native breath. That's more quick thing. But sometimes you don't even have time, or you don't really feel comfortable, don't know how to do it. But there's nobody who don't know how to breathe. Right? You might not know how to pour water from one nose and pass it through nose, and might feel not right. But this is something you can do. Maybe water might take 2 minutes, but if you try, we really didn't do 3 minutes. Right? Try to take it for, imagine you do it for 5 minutes. You feel more cleansed than doing the native part. So that's just the simplest thing that you can do anytime you feel low in the energy, and that leads to so many problems. So just keeping it simple. This thing, do it first in the morning. After you feel really empty in your stomach, you have a good bowel movement, and make that also practice that. you try to make yourself physically empty also, and that's going to rest you. And then you do this, and this also prepares you for if you have any kind of meditation practice, or even not a meditation practice, you want to study something, and if you have, most of you might have kids or not, but if you want to have your kids to study, see that it increases this memory power, retention power, because basically what we are trying to do when we send a little more air, means oxygen, that heart breathes back. And if your head breathes better, it works a little better. Just keeping, I'm not trying to go deep into those scientific terms, just to keep it simple that if you breathe better in your head, you remember better. It works better. And we can experience that right away, that if you breathe for 5 minutes, you start feeling a little better. So we'll do 2 more minutes again, right? And then you'll move for, so this is for, like, you start with this practice. Whenever you were starting to bringing these practices in, and try to bring them into the part of life. You don't need to wait for this to go to class. Of course, it's hard to include these into the class, and also you don't go to class every day. Not everybody does, unless you have like really committed. But I don't go. So just try to bring those 5 minutes in the morning. So let's do one more time. So you just get a nice feel of it. And if you want to have your intention, the good thing is to this, the only thing you want to keep in mind, and you can do it on a chair, you can do it in, try not to do it when you're driving, but like, because especially when you start liking it, you might start closing your eyes. And that is not. So, but you don't really need to code anything. You can just wake up, you had your coffee, you're just sitting, just put your phone aside, and you don't have to prepare, put your shoes on, and go for running. But I can guarantee you feel same energy in your body, same heat in your body. You go 5 minutes running, and if you do both, you can try to do that little experiment. Go 5 minutes running and do 5 minutes this. And you'll feel same kind of effect in your body, less pain in your legs. So you feel burn more energy. Of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't run or shouldn't work out, but sometimes you don't have time, sometimes you don't feel it. But this is, and even if you try to go running, you feel you will be able to run more, because because most of the time we get tired of any physical activity, not because of our muscles get tired, our body gets tired, either our head, like we get tired in our mind, or we start getting short in our breath. Like when you go running, you want to take a break, not because of mostly your legs, but mostly because you're like out of breath. If you bring this practice, you will be able to push yourself a little more into the physical side also. Right? So, okay, let's do not too much talk. Let's do one more time. Okay. So at this time, try to bring this it's called Agni Mudra. So this is a ring finger. Touch the ring finger with your thumb. Relax. And those mudras are just to set your intention that that's what you want to burn. Bring your hands and just go for one more time. Take a deep breath in. Blow it out. Deep breath in. You can go slow, you can go fast, and don't try to sync with anybody else. Keep going for your own pace, own speed. But try to keep it really big, small pause, and complete exhale. You can relax your hands on your knees, you don't have to keep them up. That will make you tired faster. And try to focus relaxed on your exhale. So blow it out hard. Keep going. We go for 2 more minutes. And you feel a little more heat on your face. And if you're feeling like you are getting old, that will also help. To bring that shine back on your face. Make it big. Keep going. 1 more minute. Big in. Then keep it very stable. Fill in your lungs. Pressing the chest out. Again, turn your hands up. Bring your thumb inside your fist. Bring your thumb inside of your fist. Bring your thumb inside of your leg. Take a deep, deep breath in. Hold. Hold. Pause. Hold. And open your fist and sigh it out. 2 more. Big breath in. Tight some. Feel your chest out. Really breath in. Hold all the power in your body. Feel that. And let it go. 1 more. And let it go. Again, take 1 more minute to just calm yourself down. And get back to the same practice. You're not trying to do anything. Just awareness, breath awareness. Being aware of your breath, feeling it. And so feel a little difference from the one we did first time. Your body is automatically demanding more and getting more. And while you are resting, you can bring your hands in your sides, fingers dropping down, and bring your head up center and roll it to your left. And let go that nice breath in. So doing one practice, but then getting 2 things. You'll still be getting that breath awareness, being aware of your breath, but also sending that breath into the right side of your neck, getting some gentle stretch. Send it up back center, bring your head back center and roll it to the side. Each breath out, keep trying to rolling your shoulders down, but keep the length in your spine. Each breath out is to feel a little more stretch in your left side of the neck. For any reason, if you're not feeling really open in your nose, you can let it go through your mouth. Make sure to release it completely out. And with your next breath in, bring your hands up, head up. And exhale, fold forward. And send a few nice breaths in back of your neck. And relax your face, your front body, your chest, your lungs, your belly, your intestine, your kidneys, all the internal organs. That's the big benefit of these breathing practices. Most of the other yoga practices just mostly focus on your external body, like your muscles and your bones and your alignment. This one goes deep into your internal organs, reviving your kidneys, protecting you from diabetes, working on your digestion, boosting your digestive fire. And slowly come back up, and if you're on a mat, extend your legs nice and long. Open your legs nice and long, and bring your hands right over your knees. So if you want to have a little more effect of these practices, you can do the same thing. Keep that nice breath, maybe not as strong, but we'll just try to move a little bit with our breath. So you inhale, you want to lean back. And exhale, you want to reach right, and complete your exhale when you reach to your pose. So working on a little pose, but keep that big breath. So again, like we try to move our arms with your breath, now we are trying to move our whole body with your breath. You might fall back. It's a big sigh. Like old grandmom's gym. They used to have this big, strong grinders that you have to grind. But go with your breath. Exhale, blow it out. And inhale. Exhale. Make it sit with it. And try to keep the eyes on your thumbs, so you're not only moving your arms, you're moving from your core, your whole body. If you or anybody else ever need to lose weight in your life and lose the belly fat, bring this practice, couple of these 2-3 things, you can lose more weight. I can guarantee you can take this breathing practice 20 minutes every day. Nobody can stop you losing from at least a pound every day. Of course, you cannot have 5 hamburgers after that.
That's hard.
Maybe you can have half. Come back center and switch side. Lean back and begin from your left. Go all the way to your toes. Complete breath on your toes and inhale. Feel strong. Exhale on your toes. Let it go. And exhale. Exhale. In breath. Exhale. Hold. Exhale. And bring your hands up. Come back center. Bring all the fingers together and put them on the shoulders. And let's roll our shoulders with the same breath. Inhale. Bring your elbows together. Look up. Exhale. Roll them back and down. So it's good to open your rib cage a little bit more when you practice in this breathing exercise. Hold. Big breath. And exhale. One more. Exhale. And switch sides. So open your shoulders. Inhale. And exhale. Roll them front and down. Inhale. Open. Exhale. Roll. And down. And roll. And down. One more. Roll. And down. And release your hands. And just maybe roll your shoulders. Relax yourself. Just feel free. So, how are you feeling? So it depends on what you want. That's the best thing about it. And these are the practices that you can even ask anybody to do. Even to run, you probably need to have legs, or at least you need to get out of your house. But to do these practices, even you're in the worst physical condition, you're sleeping, you can still do this. You can sit on the chair if you can't sit on the floor. You can still do it. And even if that's not possible, you could just lay down and still do it. Right? You still have that same energy burning in your core. So you can, and that's the good part of these practices. You can make these as a more you do the slow, you can make it like a meditation. You just lay down, breathe big and breathe out. That's the best tool for the meditation. There's a hundred of different ways to do meditation, but that's one of them. Or if you want to have like more physical, it's really great for keeping the energy. And when your vital energy goes up, that has tremendous effects in like you. It's literally, if you translate it from Sanskrit, these are all ismal signing. That means like it's boost. You might not, if you get old, you might not want, what do you call that when they pump something in the face? Botox or Botox? To make it young. Make it young. If you start doing that, maybe you don't. So it brings that, and it's more or not only like it's like that signing that he wants to keep on your face, keep that smile on the face. Your smile looks better if you have a signing and you have that your internal energy, and that is usually hard to fake. You can fake physical energy. You can like pretend to be more strong. You might actually hurt yourself if you do that, but it's hard to fake. But that boost comes from inside, and you can really feel it. And the physical part, if you have ever problem with the digestive fire, that's where there's lots of problems begin. There's a cycle of bad digestion to your depression and bad mood. If you're not feeling good in your belly, you will never feel good in your head. Right? If you're not feeling good in your head, you will never feel good in your belly. Those are cycles. And when you get into that cycle, it even becomes harder to break it. Because you're not feeling good in your head, you might eat something else that you're not supposed to eat, and then your stomach goes bad, and then you're not feeling bad because of your stomach is bad, and you get into that cycle. So this is something, it's like, I would say, you can evaluate lots of problems. Anything, if you want to make it more for like a life transforming, you want to get rid of something in your life, not your spouse, but like something like some bad habit, like you have emotional eating or smoking or anything else, like any other bad habit, or you are not good at something. Just think about that and just blow it out. Make it a commitment. So bring your attention, direct your attention what you want from these practices. And so next will be more for the physical part. That's called breath of fire, right? And that's my favorite part. Even the gym people don't like it, I still make them do it. Like regularly I teach in a gym, and most times people don't like to do like traditional yoga things in the gym. They want to like I don't care. If they fire me, they fire me. I have a real job. It's a good thing about that. But I still make at least 5 minutes. I make them do breathing. And 5 minute breath of fire is a lot. So let's come back. It's been too much talk. So come back on your hands. Okay. So just first make sure that this sometimes you get into the breath of fire, and a lot of people do it other way around by mistake. So you make sure your focus is on your exhale. You don't. Sometimes I've seen people do like so they are inhaling. You don't have to focus on inhale. Inhale will be really good, but it will be passive. You don't have to do anything. So all you do is you try to pull your belly in, and this is other way around. Like now when we did that first one, the bellows breath, the Basmita, we try to keep our belly stable and move our lungs. Now you want to keep your chest and your lungs stable and move your belly only. So you pull your navel to spine, pull your belly in, and blow it out. So, and let it come back. Let it relax. When you exhale, let it come back, bring it down all the way, and relax your belly, and then pull it in. So this is like doing crunches, but not using your muscles, using your belly muscles, but not using your back muscles, basically. When you do crunches, like you're lifting up, you're more using the side muscles and all that. So this is also good kind of a workout if you want to have that toned belly or get rid of that extra spare tire sometime you have. So really good workout for the lower back. So this, but just be mindful if you have a hypertension really bad, don't do too strong. Or if you are pregnant, is no. But after you become mom, it's the best thing you can do to get rid of those all the mostly women gain weight after the pregnancy. They have those stretch marks and I never been pregnant, but I know. So and usually the skin becomes loose. So this is also good for that, and especially also it's a time of getting into that depression cycle. Like it's a change of life, right? So it also keeps that energy to go through that cycle. When your baby cries in the middle of the night, you want to throw him out of the window. I want to throw him. I don't been there, but if somebody's crying, I want to throw them out. So just deal with that. And it could be not only baby, it could be anybody. Sometimes you want to throw your spouse out. And sometimes you just want to deal with it. So it gives you that internal strength, because we lose our control on our actions when we are really weak from our internal energy. Then only we lose our. We all know that it's not good. It's not good to throw that we want to. But that's the extreme. But some small things that we all know we all have. I don't want to point a single thing, but we all internally know there's something that I'm not supposed to do or I should not do, but I still do anyway. And that's because we don't have that, we lose that internal strength. So find that, and especially if you're not feeling hungry, let's do it 5 minutes and you feel hungry. Right? So let's come back. Either if you feel okay, you can pick up that same mudra, the ring finger. Relax your shoulders, relax your chest, relax your belly, take a deep breath in. Then sigh it out together. Inhale gently and pull your belly in and blow it out through your nose. And it's everybody's different. I will go for 5 minutes. If you need, you can take a break. You can go slow. You can make it really strong. You are blowing out when you're filling your belly in. Not the other way around. You can put your hand in front of your nose and blow on your hand to feel it. You can maybe put your one hand on your lower belly and one hand in front of your nose, and you can feel the air on your hand and you're pressing your belly with your other hand. Just to feel it, you're not really trying to punch your belly. And you don't have to fight in one day, all the life battle in one day. You can take a break and restart again if you feel any dizziness, any losing energy, losing your breath. If you're not feeling, you might start from 1 minute, 2 minutes, and take it all the way to like 10, 15, 20 minutes. And maybe you don't have to do it in one go. You can do like 2 minutes in the morning. Keep going, keep going. I know some of you are really strong. Let's take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. One more. Deep breath in. Let's take one more. And let's go for one more minute. And every time I try to convince somebody to do it, they feel like it's boring. It doesn't get anything done. Again, let's take deep breath in. Make a really tight fist in your hand. And sigh. Two more deep breath in. And sigh out. One more. And let it go. So basically, these are the two practices more for your physical strength, physical body. More importantly, anything is wrong with your digestive fire, and that might lead you for gain, depression, weight gain, anxieties, low in the energy, any of those sort of things. Mostly, doctors don't have any treatment for those things. Usually, you have to figure it by yourself. They might give you some pills. But I can tell you that this is not a pill that you just do 3 times a day, three breaths a day, and you will be fine, cure everything. You need to be part of your life. It might take a little time, but that's for the rest of your life. And it's something good if you get addicted to it. Other way around, if you go for those pills, if you get addicted to them, they can make your life hell. But if you're addicted to them, say if you're addicted to them, you can't start your day unless you do it for 5 minutes. Not a bad thing. And it doesn't take that long. And now let's move to a little bit more of the emotional and meditation side. I call the meditation is like sticking your head in the garbage can and trying to find something useful. And if you try to do that ever, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen very often. If you try to stick in your head into garbage, you're going to find all sort of crap, not any useful things. And that's what happens with meditation. Every time you just say this word meditation, all the things in your life, they never came in your head, they all start coming into your head. Like everything that is going around. From the war in the Syria to your friend who's just didn't call you. Everything just begins to come in your mind. So for mostly, especially if you are new to this, any kind of meditation, you need some sort of tools. So you basically engage your head into those tools rather than, I know that best thing is to like sit down under the tree and just enlighten like a Buddha the next day. But that doesn't happen that easily. So we have to have some sort of tools. So this, you might be familiar with this alternate nostril breathing. So once you've done this, you feel your nostrils up, your head is more clean. You can take this alternate nostril breathing. It's called Anulom Vilom. And that's not only meditation, it's a really good practice for any sort of neurological problems, like if you have history in your family of developing these Alzheimer's, dementia, sorts, sightness, like you start forgetting things. Those are the signs of those problematic things. This is a great practice to avoid those things in a future life. But you have to bring those part of your life, like the food practices. Like, okay, you eat salad in one day, you're not going to change your whole life, whole digestive system. You have to, like sometimes that happens with the people, oh, I eat salad today, I have a right to just be lazy whole day. Or eat another, say, 5 hamburgers. But it doesn't work that way. You need to bring these practices in your routine life, in your daily routine. Like, I always use this analogy, like we teach our kids to brush their teeth every day. Most of us do, right? And most of us grow that. Why? Because somebody told us that you brush your teeth, you protect your teeth. Although I'm not sure about that. You could brush your teeth with that plastic, how much you protect, but yes, it feels good and it's a general belief it helps. Actually it helps, but we eat, it helps. But I would say this is not less helpful than, I'm telling you that if you do this practice for 5 minutes, you can protect yourself from later, say, Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. And if you go to the science, there are almost same or even more evidences of this, that if you practice these practices, you have less chances of developing depression, anxiety, and later those severe conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. So why don't we teach our kids or practice ourselves? And it takes almost the same time. Brushing your teeth takes 5 minutes. And you do that for 5 minutes. It will be hard to do that. It doesn't take that long time. It's just being that kind of mindset and how we grew up that those things have not been emphasized more. And that was the most important reason that I started kind of volunteering myself to just educating people more. I know you can find all these information on the internet, but educating more people to bring that analogy that these are the same way. And that's how they used to practice. There was no yoga studios or no Empower Fitness to go and breathe there. They used to be part of your life. You don't go to dentist office so you are brushing your teeth, right? You only go there when you are in a problem. So, but we brush our teeth every day. So bringing these practices, you know how I get into the yoga business. So I did not came to US. Originally I'm from India, you might guess. I don't have a passport. But I after PhD, I finished my PhD in India, and I came to Baton Rouge. They hired me, so I was on the cloud. Like, you finish your PhD, you got a job in US. Let's go. And I came here, and if you're familiar with Baton Rouge, there's a levy, and so I work in an LSU. Somebody told me that you can go to the levy and go just bike around. And that was like fourth day in this country. I never had been outside in India. I never flew. So I just, but I was so excited. So I took a bike and I went there. And instead of coming back, I went downtown and I got lost. And it was dark, like almost getting 8 or 9 in the evening, and there was nobody on the streets. And that time I was missing India a lot. Because in India, like if you're walking on the street, there will be hundreds of people everywhere. And you can ask them any directions. You can ask them directions in Houma, they will still tell. How to get to the, even they don't know, they will still tell. So, but at least there are people you can ask. But in the evening, in Bangalore, downtown, nobody was, and if there was anybody there in the car, then I met this girl. She was the only one riding bike. Okay, there was no choice, or maybe I wanted to talk to her. So I just went and talked to her if she can help me to go back to LSU, and then I can find my path. She was nice. She came with me, bike with me to go to LSU. And show me the apartment. And that time I was just like have a blanket on the floor. That's all I had in an apartment. And I didn't have anything to offer, so I drink tea. That's like kind of, I'm addicted to that Indian chai. So that's what I had. So I offered her tea, and then we started conversation. And she asked me, what else you do after you decide yoga? It's kind of common business. So I just kind of made up that I teach. I have a good interest in yoga to impress her. Because I was in a PhD for the last 5 years, and you know how crazy that is. I didn't have time to breathe, forget about yoga. But yes, I had interest, and I had some diploma and something in yoga, but I was not doing anything with yoga. The next day, I got a call from her on my landline, and she asked me, like, you want to go out? And I was just again on the cloud, like, fourth day, somebody's asking me to go out. If Southern blonde asking you to go out, why not? And I thought like, okay, we will go for a restaurant or something. That's what we usually go to go out. She took me to yoga class. And that was my first yoga class in a class setting. I never did yoga before in a class setting where there's an instructor and 20 people teach. And I was lost actually. I thought that I know something about yoga. I did yoga, but in that class, first of all, this was accent and English, but still, I couldn't do half of those poses. Maybe she took me to like those crazy Ashtanga or something, and I couldn't do half of them. And I feel like, oh, I should have said that. I made a bad impression on her. But then start moving, and then she decided to go with me to India to get her yoga certificate. Not me, I didn't. But I kept going, I like it. And I like to meet more people. So I kept going to those yoga studios. And then eventually, I started realizing that there is like the physical part, they got much better than I can teach nothing. The poses and exercise, I can do half of them still. I can't teach anything. But I started feeling like this is something that is missing in that whole content. So then I started like offering just free workshops, and they started like, we want to teach. Okay. That's how I started teaching, and then I started meeting. And still I like the best part is about meeting nice people. I met my first girlfriend through yoga, so that's why I like to meet nice people. Although I'm not looking for girlfriend anymore, but I'm like to meet nice people through, because that's the community I like. So that's my background story. So I didn't take yoga to teach yoga. Teach yoga here. Okay, so I'll make you hungry, don't worry before that.
Is that?
I'll make everybody hungry.
Oh
The
yeah.
breath of fire is just like you don't feel hungry. So let's do that alternate nostril breathing. So it's more of the meditative like this. So bring your left hand on your knee, and now we want to calm ourselves down rather than boosting more of energy. So touch your index finger. It's called Gyan Mudra. That means like mudra for the knowledge and your spiritual heart. So touch your index finger, rest 3 fingers, and bring your right hand on your nostril, right hand on your nose. Close your right nose and take a deep breath from your left. Close your left and exhale from the right. Inhale from the right. Close your right, exhale from the left. And go with your own pace. Inhale from your left. And exhale from the right. Inhale from the right. Exhale from the left. Keep going with your own speed. Because everybody breathe their own breath. I can't breathe to everybody. Keep going. Just simple. Just inhale from the left and exhale from the right. Inhale from the right, exhale from the left. Inhale from the left, exhale from the right. Inhale from the right, exhale from the left. And try to keep your breath as full as you can. So when you inhale, feel it going through, like when you inhale from one nose, feel it piercing through your head, touching your crown of your head in your brain. And when you exhale, it's making full circle, cleansing your nostrils, cleansing those nadis. According to Ayurveda, there are 2 pulses that moves along with our spine from your head to your tail. And we want them to clear with energy. That's a good practice for that as well. Inhale from the left. Exhale from the right. Inhale from the right. Exhale from the left. And make sure you give a small pause between your inhale and exhale. You don't want to say anything. You don't want to inhale the same way again that you are supposed to exhale. Count 8 more of your own. If you had in your one hand, you can always sit your hands. But keep your head straight. We tend to turn our head to the right side if you are using our right hand. But keep your head straight. almost done. You can release your hands on your knees. Take a nice breath in. Breathe with your both nose. And complete breath out. And open your eyes. So now as we are moving for more meditation. So this is itself is a meditation. If you do this, it's like I call these practices like we have a similar saying. You call what do you call it? When you kill two birds with one stone. Right? So these are like the truly you can call it mind and body. So it's a really great benefit for your physical body. And especially like the deeper body that we miss out on most of the exercises. Like either you work out or you even do yoga, mostly miss out. How many times you've heard that let's do this exercise to help with your kidneys or help with your intestine or pancreas. These are the practice. Like even like if you have a diabetes or if there are chances of in your history to developing diabetes, that breath of fire burns will let more. And there are even studies suggesting that it can revive those beta cells that jump on your pancreas. And that's the type 2 diabetes. You just start. And I'm also as a scientist, I believe in that because now we are talking about growing those cells, taking from your kidneys or pancreas, and growing them in a petri dish in a laboratory and planting back. That's where we stem cell scientists work on. It's really crazy. That now we are talking about like if you need a transplant for your lung or your kidney or pancreas, you don't need a donor. We can take your own cells, grow it in a laboratory, and put it back here. But I always think that if there's a technology that can grow your pancreas from your own cells in a laboratory, I still believe that there is no better laboratory and no better machine ever built than this body. And if we can grow them in petri dish, you can grow them within your body. It's just so I believe in that. Maybe some scientists won't, but I believe you can do that. So that's one thing. And next, moving to this another practice where you all been chanting Om in all the classes, right? Most of the time when we chant, we hear those sounds coming through the air, right? When you chant, it goes through the environment and we hear. What if we allow that sound to travel within our head, within our body? So we will chant kind of Om, but mostly the last sound of Om, like the bumblebee sound in the end when you close your mouth, sounding through your nose. But we will do with our doors closed, means eyes closed and our ears closed. So you might not hear anybody else's sound, but you will see like really good resonance of your sound in your head. And that is the practice for any sort of emotional problems. Again, the depression is one of big problems. That's where any big neurological problem begins. This is a problem for that. If you want to having hard time concentrating on things, or kids having hard time concentrating on things, there's a practice for that. If you are having hard time making commitments for things, that's the practice for that. And especially, this is like I say, those earlier practice not for the pregnant women, but this is the great thing they can do. So I will bring so first see before you close your eyes, so we're going to close our eyes with these 3 fingers, and index finger will be on forehead, and we will chant last part of the Om sound with closed mouth, only from your nose, and close your ears, and we will do 3 times. Don't worry if you don't hear anybody else, go for your own and do 3 really nice and big, long sounds. Take a deep breath in if you're still here. And sigh it out. Inhale. More. Leave your hands on your lap. You can do this practice for like 5, 10, 11 times to really feel it in your head. Let's take the next 2 to 3 minutes. Meditate and just be silent. Our food for meditation is just a breath. So every time you begin to feel that you are returning to your past or moving forward into your future, come back and try to feel your breath. Feel the rise of your chest on your inhale, dropping on your exhale. Feel the air moving through your nose, and gently out through your lungs. And you begin to feel, when you inhale, feel that energy, like somebody is walking the fingers on your spine, from your tailbone. When you inhale, that energy is moving up to your crown of your head, and when you exhale, moving it down, and releasing all the negative energy to that heart. Just slowly wiggle your fingers, like you tie twist your fingers. Take a deep breath in and sigh out. So these are the 2 practices that will help you do anything you want to do with your head, your meditation, your studies, just being calm, or any issue, emotional issues you might be dealing with, any grief, anger, all those kind of things. Now we'll share 2 or 3 different practices. Those are more for like therapeutic things. If you are having really bad digestion, but of course, the first thing you need to build up that breath of fire. But once you build up that, and if you are having really bad digestion, you can try to do this called Agni Kriya. So basically, what you do, you may not feel it doing today, but that's just good to know. What you do is you blow out, empty yourself out, and then you press your chin to your chest, apply this called Jalandhar Bandha throat round, then Pull your navel to spine, your belly in, and lift your pelvic floor up. So applying all those three bonds, and that has a tremendous benefits in terms of the physical. You can do that if you do like even 2 or 3 times. You'll feel like you have done a lot of workout in your core, in your belly basically. So that's especially good for your digestive fire. You're having really hard time keeping your digestion up to date. And it's really great if you have a history or have history in your family of diabetes. So maybe you're not, if you feel like doing it, you can bring your hands on, either you can do standing or you can do it on sitting, but so everybody can see. I'll try to do it like, so you can hold yourself like this, or you can just sit on the floor. You sit on there, and you take a deep breath in, blow it out, pull your chin to your chest, and release your belly. It might feel like you're hurting in your belly, but if you can get into that, so first thing you start doing, just simple thing, you blow it out, hold your chin, and just release, don't try to hold it too long. Basically, you create a vacuum in your lungs, and you soften your belly, release your belly, and that let it suck into that vacuum. So you're not really pressing your belly in. Let your breath pull this in. Once you start getting into that practice, then you can try to go into next level when you try to pull your center of your belly out, and your sides will create a pressure on your kosas, or you can technically say on your kidneys and your pancreas.
What's the name of this kind of breathing?
This is called Noli.
Noli.
Yeah, it's called Noli, or sometimes they call Agnisar Kriya. So you can, that's why I didn't focus too much on the names. They can get you confused when you try to cross-check. Yeah, fact-check my workshop. It could be fake workshops, so if you try to fact-check, it might turns out to be, he called this Noli, it's Agnisar. So just be mindful of what you are trying to do and why you are trying to, rather than get it. But yes, when you try to press this, it's called Noli, and when you try to pull your belly in and try to move your belly in and out, that's called Agnisar, and when you just holding, that is called Bahe. So like there's three layers, and then but you need to build up those layers. It's like you want to do a headstand, you don't just bump down on your head and go up. You need to put your head, hands, make it up, raise your legs, then eventually you reach your legs up. So you don't try to do that. So, and these are more important. And first you build up that flexibility in your core, in your belly, because with the breath of fire. So do that for a time. And even you don't feel like making that shape, don't worry about that shape in your belly. Feel that how the pull-up feels in your belly. If you're feeling something pulling up, in and up, you got it. You don't really have to make that shape. Maybe you're not in that shape. You don't want to be in that shape. But it's just like, everybody's different. So it's more about, it's hard to explain how to feel it, but you should feel something pulling in and up. And that's why it's more important for uplifting. In Kundalini tradition of yoga, it's more important for uplifting of the Kundalinis and pelvic floor and all that business. We can cover everything in one thing, but I'm focusing more on the physical part. So if you have a really problem with the digestive fire, that's the practice. If you want to see one more time, hold, take a deep breath in, blow it out completely, tap your chin to your chest, And just really just soften the. And make sure you release your bandhas really slow, so you don't want to get like a stroke of your breath. Yeah, you don't want to like hold it too long, so you can't really release it slowly. Release it before. You don't want to like when you get your breath in, right? That's not a good idea. So you want to hold it and release it before you can easily take it in. Sometimes we try to push ourselves too much and kind of that as where you will be like running out of breath and then you will just stroke it. So come back down. And then one more thing that I for this particular therapeutic benefits. This one is more for if you are ever having digestive issues. But there's one more thing that sometimes, like your thyroid, that controls a lot of things in our body, especially your metabolism. You have a hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism that throw off your metabolism. So this is the one practice that you can take for that one. So basically what we do, we kind of try to, there's no really exercise you can do for a thyroid. Like you cannot really poke your thyroid with your fingers or something like that. So we basically try to create some vibrations and give that little more of kind of a workout to the thyroid. So either you can put your hands to feel this like this, and you'll make like that. You constrain your throat and you try to make that. So you try to make this sound like. And breathe out. And you're slowly breathing back. But you're not really slow. Don't make a sound. Physically feel, make sound, feel some vibration.
Smells alive.
One thing I also want to say, like we are running to summer season, feel really hot. And hot means, say, hot either physically or sometimes just feeling hot in your head. The same thing, you want to throw somebody out of the window. you can calm yourself. You can don't look at me like that. And I feel like I'm going out of the window. So there's two ways you calm yourself. You can calm yourself down. So can you circle your tongue? Not everybody can. It's genetic. You can't. If you can't, you can't.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, some people can't, some people can't. It's a genetics. You can't. Yeah. This is what you got from your parents. If you can't, you can't. So blame them. If you can't, you blame them. Yeah, but the other way to doing the same thing is you can put your tongue to your palate and close your teeth.
What?
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, take the tongue on the palate and close your teeth and inhale, and then inhale from either the circle tongue or through your teeth, and exhale, close your right and exhale from the left. So inhale from your mouth. And close your right and exhale from your left. So inhale from your mouth. Inhale from your mouth. Either it's circle tongue or from your teeth. Circle your tongue if you can. You should feel some pull in your throat actually, that's what it is. Either you breathe through your nose, breathe through your teeth or breathe through your circle tongue. More. Underneath your hand. Yes, it's a nice breath. And let's close over today's practice with 3 rounds of Om. And I just want to invite you for feeling this. That's Om you might be chanting in all different classes. Try to feel that different way. When you chant Om, there are 2 different sounds, like the blood sound, and then you close your mouth, there's like that bumblebee sound, right? So feel that blood sound is vibrating back of your head. And back of your head has that reptilian brain that makes you crazy and do crazy things and throw out of the window, kind of things, right? And when you close your mouth, you vibrate your bulk of your brain, your front lobe of your brain. And that is your cortical brain, right? And cortical brain is the one that makes you smart. Like all the materialistic smart things we do, reading, writing, learning, everything else. And in my opinion, all the problems in the world are because those 2 are not in harmony. If those brains goes out of the balance, that can be a big problem. But somebody is like really smart, really smart. They can make peace in the world, or they can make wars in the world. Because they are smart, they can do what they want. Somebody is really smart, they can make a drug, or they can make something that will help with poverty or something, or they can make really powerful atom bombs. Because you have to be smart to make those things. Because then if your reptilian brain is not in harmony with your cortical brain, then you don't feel the emotions of your axis. And it's not that you really want to suppress your reptilian brain, you need it sometimes when you have to take those reflex actions. You touch a hot thing, you need your reptilian brain to pull that. But that is always automatic. You really don't have to think about those things. If you touch something hot, you will notice in your head after the head is already off. So just keep that in mind. I'm just trying to give one extra lesson. And feel those vibrations in two different parts of the brain. And we'll do it 3 times. So bring your hands on the knees. Nice. Take a deep breath in. Side out. Inhale. Chin to your chest. Thank yourself for making some effort to take care of yourself. Bring your hands in the heart center and rub your hands really hard. And bow the feet to your face. Give yourself a nice massage. Lead the forehead, temples, eyelids, teeth. And take a deep breath in. And side. Thank you all. Namaste. If you have any questions, comments, I always love them. I could cover everything in so feel free to. And then I have some. I didn't want to give them beforehand. And most of things we talk about, I have in them practices. So we have enough. Not that we can make coffee or either email. I hope everybody's feeling hungry. If not, then take 5 more minutes breath. You're not really hungry. You won't be doing enough.
Thank you so much. That's really awesome. I mean, I hope you guys got something out of it. We're going to have a lunch kind of break kind of thing, and at 2 o'clock, Mr. Sharma's, Dr. Sharma's coming back for our Vedic. I might be pronouncing it incorrect, but these are all the time people's names. But thank you so much.
Next one we will